Hello buddy, welcome back to another episode of Just What I am playing Final Fantasy XIV. Last episode we unlocked the sunken Temple of Corn, and today we're going to go and enter the Temple of Corn. We are ready to check the people who want to join me in this madness. And let's go and do the sunken Temple of Corn. The Corn, yeah. Corn. Hard. With two other friends from the static and one random person. Where I'm also going to be tanking, of course. With my paladin afterwards. The next one's going to be with the warrior. And then we're going to heal a little bit with white mage and scholar. And then we're going to do one more with monkey. Also, I had to like clean the cushions from my headset, so I'm now wearing my headset without cushions, and it's an interesting experience. So there may be a point in the video, or like in this session, I guess, because it's a new session, where I will just be not be able to hear anything, basically. I did 2 slashes. I have no idea why. Let's get a move on. Sunken Temple of Corn hard is honestly also another one of my favorites, I would say. Of the I'm having freaking brain farts left and right. Of the Reborn ones. Also, I've not played Paladin in a little bit, mind you. Also, there's this fucking Balladian soul over here. Once again, ranged enemies either go behind a corner to get them to follow you, or just pull the entire group towards the ranged enemies. That's basically all I can say about those, really. About how you may want to deal with those. Son of a bitch. Wanted to try and pick this up and got hit instead. Sag. Bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Once again with Paladin. The one thing you should remember with Paladin is that you have Shot 1. Aside from that, there's not really that much like special stuff about Paladin, I would say. At least not at this level. But Shot 1 is a pretty good thing. It's basically 20% damage negation for a couple of seconds, mind you, but those seconds can probably save your life. You can technically make it so that these traps hit these enemies, if you want to, but I am really not particularly in the mood to aim them over the things. Not really worth it either, that much. So, then we go. And then we get to fight the Damaged Adjudicator. Basically the same boss from before, but now with a couple of twists. Right, get over here. So, there's gonna be a part of his body that's gonna glow in the beginning. That's the part that you need to focus. Which in this case is the head, which I forgot to target properly. If you destroy the other parts, nothing's gonna happen to him, but if you destroy the correct parts, then he's going to fall apart. Which is what you want. Bum, bum. There we go. He also sometimes is gonna target somebody and drop a sandball on them. Try to stay away from the sandball as much as you can. I think it's that symbol over there that's going to signify one of those balls dropping. This one over here, 6 films under. Get out of the freaking the sand whirlpool and you'll be fine. If you get swallowed entirely, you die. It's an insta-kill. You can use gap closers and other things to get yourself out of that situation, so you don't really have to like painstakingly walk through it. I think if you pop sprint, then you also have more then you'll probably be moving faster. Although I'm not 100% sure about this. There we go, yeah. As a healer, you can also use stuff like rescue to rescue people out of the quicksand, should you need to. And after doing this 3 times, that should be the final time that you have to do this. These ads are really weak, they die ridiculously quickly. And then at the end, it's just him over here. Just the final couple of percentages of the damage adjudicator. It does do a cleave too, so try not to try to aim the boss away from the rest of your party if you are a tank. Otherwise, if you're not a tank, try to stay away from the front of the boss. Now, this is the first time, maybe the first time that we ran into antiquated stuff. You can grab these and you can trade those for the artifact gear. Like the artifact gear that you can just get rid of. We can get it back by trading in these antiquated pieces. If you want, that is. Not particularly necessary, mind you, but it could be nice. Right, over here we have the Vice-Gerent, or whatever the hell it is. And then you have the hand. The hand will grab anybody, and then the head will aim its laser towards them. Kill the hands to free the people, otherwise, well, this may end in a bad situation. Also, why is... Oh, wow, I just noticed... just noticed that Raylak was petrified. It's like, why is he just standing there? Got petrified by the snakes. The Desert Vipers have a do not look at them attack, and you can stun them to interrupt them if you want to. Or just try to look away as best you can. If you get hit with it, it's, yeah, as you just noticed, it's a petrification that you also cannot clear with SNL. Like, it's not a debuff that you can clear. So you'll just be petrified. So really try to avoid that if you can. Right, it's going to be a slightly bigger pool, if I remember correctly. Nice. Got all of them buggers. Bum, 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 bum. Stone Gaze over there. One of them is casting it. Right. There's also a Desert Viper who got away from it. Let's go and get him again. It's kind of crazy how, like, in the beginning, basically, when I'm, like, replaying classes that I haven't played in a while, especially the tanking ones, in the beginning I'm like, okay, how does this work again? But then, like, once I remember a little bit better, then the tanking ones are just easy. Somebody's complaining about being a dragoon. No, not the laser. What is this wire under level 50? The thing that Aoi is talking about, by the way, in the dragoon sense, is that if you want to get... What is it called again? I don't remember the name of it, but if you want to get the damage buff, basically, you have to use your single target rotation to get the damage buff up, and then you can continue using your AoEs. Later in the game, you get a second AoE, which is going to give you that. I think it's called Power Surge. And it's a real big pain. The fact that you have to do your single target rotation just so you can get the damage buff, and then can continue. It's a little bit annoying. Sabot Hunter Imperatrice or something. As a tank, just grab everything that you can. Aside from that, when she starts casting 100,000 needles, you need to do a certain amount of DPS to her, which is going to determine... why in the fuck is this dude just not... She's going to cast that 100,000 needles one, and you have to do a certain amount of damage to stop her from casting it. Right now it's not too big of a deal, you just keep doing AoEs. Right now, however, she's going to summon Sabotender Gardia, who is going to give her vulnerability down, which, you know, lowers the amount of damage that she takes, which in turn is going to make it actually more possible that she's gonna be able to finish casting that spell. And that spell is just a wipe. It's just an insta-wipe. Because if you're remember anything from the needles, or the needle attacks, if it's like 1,000 needles or whatever, it's gonna do a straight up 1,000 damage. 3,000 would be 3,000, and so on and so forth. So 100,000 would just be a death. I don't even know, like, I don't even remember how much HP you have right now at 90. Not sure if it's 100. I'm not sure if it's over 100k or not. So who knows? You might not even be able to survive it at level 90. But you would usually just murder this boss anyway, at that high of a level if you do it unsynced. Which would be the boring way to do it, but still. Some people like doing it, and I will not judge people for it. Because that's just kind of the way that I am. At least not too much. It's kind of unfortunate, but at the same time, nah. As long as they don't judge my gameplay style, I'm fine. Right. And now we get mummies. Ooh. Spooky, scary mummies are here to eat my face. Rotting bandages. Ronald Weasley. Leviosa. Let's go and gather them up a little bit more. I also love the music in this place. It's so good. There we go. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, final pull. None of these pulls are too big. But I do feel like they're good, in my opinion, though. Like, a lot of people really like really big pulls, but I'm actually surprisingly not too big of a fan of that. It puts too much stress on me. And this is like more of a comfy type of thing, where you still need to use your cooldowns and still be, you know, still do your job, but you don't have to worry about every single little thing. The thing is, these guys still get their like physical damage up and all that jazz, so they can get nasty pretty dang quickly if you don't watch out. That's with like a lot of encounters in the game, really. If you're tanking and not really using your cooldowns properly, it's probably gonna get you killed. Or if your hero cannot keep up with the pace at which you go, that can also definitely put some rut in your I don't even know what it's called. Rut in your strut? I don't know. And it will just create problems. That's all I can say about it. Oh my god, it's Fidget Spinner Man. Vice-Gerent to the Warden. This boy has some interesting stuff going for him. And he has Smite the Fury, which is his harder hitting attack. I wouldn't really call it a Tank Buster. And at some point, these things are gonna spawn. I'm sorry for that, Dotem buddy, but... So, the sarcophagi are going to release mummies. If you run into those, you will get Curse of the Mummy, I think. If you get 4 stacks of that, so if you get hit with 4 of them in a row, you will then turn into a mummy. Or sarcophagus is going to suck you up and turn you into a mummy. And then you'll just be attacking your friends. And I think eventually dying too, but I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't happen that often, so I don't really know that well how to do that stuff. Oh, I'm sorry, Jesus Christ. I don't know a lot of the details, not gonna lie, about a lot of the bosses and encounters in A Realm Reborn. Oh god. If he does this, he's going to do a line attack in front of him, and that's gonna hit you with Curse of the Mummy too. So now he's just going to randomly target somebody and use Light of Anatman. And if you get hit by it, which has, you know, an invisible AoE, then you will get Curse of the Mummy. At some point, somebody is going to get marked again And this person is going to get tethered to the vicegerent. Is going to walk towards you with his tether. However, you can stun him, which I just managed to do. Which kind of stops that. If you use it at the correct time. Otherwise, you would be tethered to the boss and he's going to slowly but surely turn you into a zombie. Just gonna like accumulate stacks of mummification. And that, my friends, is the Sunken Temple of Corn. Hard, of course. You know, I actually like this. Like, I still like the Paladin glamour that I have. But I do kind of want to move on from this glamour, so at some point I may change it yet again. But I will. Like, I have a dream outfit, basically. But yeah, we'll see. You're the one who caused all the commotion, aren't you? 12 sake, walk softly. Non-intrusive first and systematic always. Never forget. Now then, who are you? One of the apprentice haulers? Yes, I'm Neneko, but why would anybody be looking for me? What ancient traps have been triggered? I had no idea. I alone ventured into the deepest section of the temple. For the work there requires the most delicate of touches. I was completely oblivious to the commotion until you came. What of the members of my expedition? Please tell me they are safe. I did see a lot of corpses on the ground. Scarcely any survivors. Gods be good. I had known we were come to a dangerous place, but all those lives. But this is neither the time nor place for mourning. Let us quit this place. I have a duty to notify our backers of this incident. Meanwhile, might I ask you to go and tell Papa and Sese that I'm fine? Sure. Got you covered. Yar har, I guess. Right, let us go back over to Ulda. Back to the steps of Nard. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Hello. Didn't even think to remove the chat block for that cutscene. Yes, where's Neneko? You'd better have good news, or I'll let my brother do this his way. My dear brothers. Yoo-hoo. I've heard you, haven't I? I'm sorry, but as you can see, there's nothing to be concerned about. Neneko, we've been so worried about you. Aye, we feared the worst. So good to see your face. I must thank you again, good adventurer. After we parted ways, I sent for a search party, and we were able to rescue the survivors. Hey, that's nice. Neneko, from now on, I'm going to accompany you on all expeditions. Those Balladians were real bastards about booby traps. It's not safe for you alone. Brother, she won't be alone, because I'm going with her. Brothers, you forget your duty. Your place is with the concern. You are right that the temple is dangerous, but I can make it safe. All you need is to believe. We must look at the causes. The twin causes of today's incident. The people's belief that within lie magical relics and that the ruins are now safe to traverse. Those temple raiders are already telling tales of deadly ancient traps in every tavern. But, well, let it be known, it's no ordinary danger that awaits. The Order of Nalthal has agreed to vehemently deny that the temple's relics are cursed. That tales of looters found horribly dead afterwards are baseless. That should give instant credence to the opposite, and end the looting, for a while at least. Neneko, you're brilliant. I may be the strongest one, but you've got the goods upstairs. Right you are about our sister puny brother, and I'm not gonna stoop to stating the obvious. They say history is the gristle of the past, but in these ruins the past is fleshed out again. That is what I love about this work. I won't let the raiders despoil the place. The ruins are not a mine to be dug and blasted for gil. If they want gold or gems, let them join in the Miners' Guild and toil for them. Nod. Okay. The Wrath of Corn. The Wrath of Corn. Right, let's go and turn myself into a warrior, and let us go... You know, this actually makes so much sense. Going into this place as a warrior makes an ungodly amount of sense. Right, our figure. away. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. And that is everything that I know of lyrics. Hello. Welcome to Holotolly, where heroes are made. I am Arl, and my friend of Hugibird, whatever, is a warmly regarded acquaintance of mine. Didn't mention he used to tread the sands, did he? Been trying to get that smooth-talking son of a Hydra to take up the gladiator trade again, but gets easily distracted, Hugibird does. Now I'll wager he didn't put 2 and 2 together when he heard your name. You're the last Favajoni over there was talking about, aren't you? Ha, I knew it. The liberator of Holotolly herself. Thanks to you, we've made it nice and deadly in there again. Got to rescue the Colosseum games to what they were. Or, got to restore, whoopsie. It's no lap of luxury, I warn you. Place could use some more freshening up, and there are some lurking crawlies that need a good killing, but the brass plates are on that detail. So what do you say? Care to experience a new and improved training grounds? We'd be honored to have the liberator of Holotolly return as a challenger. Jeez. Questo complete. Holotolly hard. Now accessible. Yeah. Let's get going, shall we? Bam, bam. Dum, dum, bum, 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 dum, 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 bum. That is if this final DPS would like to acquiesce to my request. Bum, bum, bum. There we go. Welcome to Holotolly Hard. This dungeon is an interesting one, and I don't particularly dislike it. Let me say it like that. Wouldn't we say I love it that much, but it's fine. Let's get a move on, shall we? Gotta use the power of rage and minimal clothing. Alright, so these little things are going to hit you with vulnerability up debuffs if you get hit by them. However, it works the same for the enemies. So you can lure the enemies to get crushed by these, and then they will take vulnerability up. Which is a pretty good little thing. However, not particularly necessary. Whoopsie. I'm gonna try to pull everything, and we'll see how it goes. It can end in a lot of different ways. One of the ways would definitely be death. I don't usually do this kind of pull, but we'll see how it goes. I've learned a lot since I just in general, since I've played the game more. Alright, so let me go and use arms to length. I'm going to use one of these. Use my infuriates. Keep him like somewhere underneath this little thing. Wow, this little like iron ball that they take the vulnerability down. And there we go. Not bad at all. Yeah. At Loquium, Physic, Embrace, everything. Hello, Pyrakmon. So, Pyrakmon, or Pyrakmon, whatever the hell. This boy has a couple of attacks, which usually a lot of these giant type enemies have. 100 tons swing. A swing is usually an AoE around him, so it will knock anybody away and do damage. Eye of the Beholder or something is... That's kind of difficult to explain how that one works. In any case, when he does this, you need to use the Mammoth activator. And then go towards the Mammoth in this blue space over here. And he's going to give you Mana Wall, which will give you an absurdly huge shield. Which means he will take no damage from this. Piercing Glower is a line in front of him. So just try not to be in front of him. He's just going to target random people. And use that. And there we go. Not bad at all. Whoopsie. I already possessed this. Also, the thing that Raylag just did, like, just in case if you're not, like, I didn't pop sprint because I thought I would make it. Raylag didn't think I would make it, and thus he used his rescue to pull me towards the thing, which is a good thing to do, I would say. Even though I think as a tank I would have been able to survive that hit, but it would not have been pretty. So, I would rather not, you know? If you can avoid taking damage, you probably should. No point taking unnecessary damage. Trying to save your healer the hassle, I would say. There we go. Raylag going for his loot. Alright, let's go and get that bugger and this entire crew of animals. It's like an entire zoo in here. Right. And then there's a bear. Come on, bear. There we go. I guess I'll just go and use Rampart. Seems like a pretty decent idea. There's still one Basilisk that way, which I could have gotten if I wanted to, but whatever. There's still more bears, by the way. So there's like this one gold bear, and then there's going to be... After you kill this one, there's going to be 2 more gold bears. Just FYI. There we go. There we go. Okay, this is kind of bad. Okay. I kind of wanted to use my Berserk on bigger attacks, which would have meant that I didn't pick up these boys that fast, but that's fine. The first thing they do is, apparently, which I just right now learned, the first thing they do is use savage swipes anyway, so they won't really attack anybody immediately. But usually you should try to grab the ads before they reach your party. Or just the random stuffs. Right, and then there's this soul encounter. You need to kill all those enemies, by the way, before you can move on. So it's really stupid that they make you... That they don't make you, or like they don't allow you to grab this encounter too. But whatever. So be it. Right, you always need to talk to these boys over here too, who will let you go. Forwards. Say hello to Catoblepas. Or... Catoblepa? I have no idea. Anyway, this thing has a couple of interesting attacks to him. One of which is, he's going to use it in a second, I think. There's Cold Stare, big ol' AoE, and then Jediture. Which means you have to leave that thing. At some point, it's going to use a Demon Eye. Use the Shadowy Orb. Give yourself blindness, so that that doesn't happen to you. Otherwise, you get petrified. And that's not a good situation. You don't get a one-shot, mind you. It's not the same as a one-shot. Like, it's just not the same petrified. I would like one-shot you, for instance. In this part, he's going to periodically yell and give everybody a vulnerability up. However, since we are once again at higher item level, most people, you can just kill the boss before it becomes anything to worry about. Otherwise, you need to go and just kill the other eye, and then you'll be fine. But people tend to just DPS down Catoblepas, or Catoblepa instead. You have done well to come this far, but the hardest trials are yet to come. They came. Alright, so now we get... I love how this dude says like the hardest trials are yet to come, but this is actually the easiest part of the dungeon. Right here. So you have the Champion Lancer, just these 2 Pit Wolves. The Champion Lancer can use a triangle AoE, and these Pit Wolves can just use normal, like, small AoEs. I think we're gonna be able to see that AoE, depending on how fast they kill the Champion. There we go, that one. There's that one, but aside from that, they do not do anything else that's noteworthy. To be honest. Get wrecked, Champion Lancer. There can only be one. Oh, that's so good. Right. Champion Gladiator and Champion Conjurer. As you would think, Conjurer is going to heal. I think the Gladiator also has some interesting stuff to him. He uses Spirits Within. And then, I think he also has another thing, like a buff of something. Yeah, in Spirits. Which does something. And Champion Conjurer can, of course, heal. And there we go. And here comes the one that's, once again, not a challenge, but just a pain in the butt. The Champion Marauder. So the two archers will periodically hit you with Venomous Bite, which is an annoying little debuff, but it's not that strong. And then the Champion Marauder is going to use Holmgang, which makes him, you know, invincible. The person that he Holmgangs is unable to move. And yeah, he's just going to stay alive until it runs out. So he's just using his invuln. And here comes the boss. A super interesting boss for sure. The final touch shall pit you against the finest gladiators ever to grace the bloodstands. Seal yourselves. Say hello to these people. I've not seen that in so long. Anyway, there probably was supposed to be a strategy of some kind that you were supposed to employ. However, the strategy is just gonna be thrown in the trash can and you just pull everything and kill them all. However, the thing that does happen is that Silent Moss the Solemn, when they die, they're going to create this thing over here, which is going to give people a damage up buff. And then you will have what's his name? Memuepo the Beholden, who is going to use a really annoying spell called Standstill. In which is going to hit you with Absolute Bind, and people need to go and touch Thal's Scepter to go and remove it. In the meantime, he's also going to cast Thal's Fury, which will do just a lot of damage. Once again, at our higher item level, it doesn't kill you, I think, but it probably was supposed to kill you at some point. Or if your item level is just really low. Try to focus on a lot of health, because he's going to, like, once he reaches a certain amount of HP, it's just going to spam cast that. And then there's just Narasimha, who is really not that much of a threat. He has some AoEs that he does. He claws you, does a tail swipe, and that's it. Easy peasy. A glorious contest! I was hard-pressed to restrain myself from joining the fray. And thus, we win! Wahey, as they say. I got a commendation. Nice. Right. Next up, let us go to Copper Bell Mines. As some people like to call it, Copper Hell. At least the hard version is a lot more entertaining than the normal version. Not easy being green. Alright, Stone Torch Man. I remember you. An adventurer! Baseless rumors notwithstanding, I can assure you that your meager talents are not needed here. No Hecaton Kyres have returned to the mines, and even if they had, the Stone Torches would be seeing to the threat swiftly and ably, as is our wont. I know not what you just heard, but it was most certainly not the tortured scream of some unfortunate miner being consigned to the maws of a bloodthirsty giant birthed from the godforsaken depths. Ah, seven hells. It's true, all of it. We thought we had seen the last of them, but we were wrong. Horribly, dreadfully wrong. Let down our guard, we did, and now Copper Bell is overrun with a damned legion of the fiends, each one nastier than the last. We've already lost scores of our men to the chaos. The few that have returned alive claim to that even the once docile Spriggans have gone mad, falling upon the poor miners in droves. So much for being harbingers of wealth and fortune, eh? The stone torches are loath to lean on the strength of outsiders, but I cannot in good conscience place full pride before the lives of good men any longer. You reclaimed these mines once. The torturers, nay, the entire nation of Ul'dah, would be forever in your debt if you could perform the deed again. I beg of you, friend, banish those fiends to the depths, that they may never resurface. Sure, bro. Got you covered, boy. We go and hit him with a ready check. And then we have... Oh yeah, right, I forgot that I don't have enough item level for these. Copper Bell Hard. Kabam. Time to be a healer again. Yay. Can't really say that I enjoy healing that much personally. Oof. That was a sound and a half. I think somebody decided to ignore the law of driving and just hit something, I think. Nothing too major. This is something that just happens. You have like basically like a parking lot next to the street right in front of my house, and people just tend to like cut the corners a little bit and then they bump into the sidewalk. Which is always an interesting little thing. Whoopsie. I bid you welcome to Copper Bell Hard. Right. This time we have Aoi tanking, so he's going to be pulling basically everything as far as I know this man, he will probably go and pull everything. Once again, as a white mage, your biggest friends are Regen and Holy. Holy stunning all the enemies, Regen is just a regen. Even recently, in one of the recent updates, we get, they have made it so that Regen's healing doesn't draw aggro to you, which is a godsend. Because that's usually how healers tend to die. Still, if you cast it initially, it will give you aggro. Not when it takes its healing, basically. But it will definitely draw aggro when you use it when enemies are nearby. Also keep forgetting that my item level is kind of low. Okay, Aoi. Right, of course. So these enemies over here kind of just ignore the Hecatonchire Tremor Ward and the little ghost buggers, the revenants, because they really don't. Like they will disengage at some point. Over here we gotta kill the rocks. In the meantime we're gonna get hit with more rocks, because, you know, why not? There's also gonna be some Spriggans following us. Usually I'd like to pull the enemies close to this rock so that people can just use AoEs and damage the rock in the meantime. Which is what Aoi is also doing, while at the same time grabbing all the ads. As is what you do as a tank. There we go. Time for holy spam. Goodbye, eyesight. Because, you know, you do get blasted by light. Like, if it's dark out and you use... Like, I remember when I started playing the game, so I started the game, I think I told about it, like, I think I talked about this earlier too. But I started the game as a white mage. Or as a conjurer, basically. So when I got Holy, and it was kind of dark out, it was insane. I was still playing on my laptop then, and my fucking god, whenever I used Holy, I was like, ah, my eyes. I have it less happening, like I have it happening a little bit less right now. Because of the entire part that I am now in my room. And I have like more of a tendency to turn on the lights. Before I was like in the living room basically. But I don't really turn on the lights unless if I absolutely have to. Right. Hackathon Fire Master Boy. So the way that this boss works is very interesting. Depending on his HP amount, he's going to use a fire attack to put the platform on fire. Any flambeau who gets close to the fire is going to start detonating. If they blow up, it is a wipe. So focus down the flambeaus, and at some point they stop spawning anyway, and then you can just kill the Hekaton Kyre Mastermind. And bam, you win. What level is this stuff? Item level 60. Okay. We don't have to wait for this elevator. Alright, this part over here, we have a collapsed rock. A collapsed rock and a lot of giants. The faster you kill these, this rock, the less giants you have to deal with. Also, the fulminator will at some point blow up, so keep that in mind. The explosion will damage you a lot, so try not to get hit by that. Because it's going to do a heckin' amount of damage. A Hekaton Kyre amount of damage, as they say. There goes, Trinite miners are dying. They also get attacked by everything basically, so... You cannot really stun the bombs either, so... Just kill them. They don't have that much HP, so... It's not that difficult to kill them either. We also missed one chest which always has a slime puddle in it, which is a minion that you can have. I just remembered that we missed that, but it's not that big of a deal. Alright, Gogma Golem. A very interesting encounter where you need to use the improved blasting device. Grab a bomb and put it right next to him. Get away from the bomb before it blows up because it's going to do a heckin' amount of damage. At a certain HP amount, he's going to start walking. And then it's going to be more difficult for you to hit him with that bomb. But you can technically just DPS down a Gogma Golem like this. But I can guarantee you that it's going to take a long time. Not particularly my type of fun, in my humble opinion. Oh my fucking god. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so the Kindling Sprites attack random people, they mark them and then start attacking them. And when it comes to the Gogma Golem, or Biggie basically, which is like the little Spriggan in there, he will use kind of semi-random AoEs, Plane Cracker, and that like massive freaking AoE. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. This fight's a little bit of a mess to heal, I feel. A lot of the time. Especially if people start running into the bombs. That makes things a lot more messy. We go and heal him again. You know, for the people who haven't noticed it yet, there's so much happening in these freaking dungeon runs every single time. Especially when people, you know, run into bombs and blow up. And then people die. This is how people die. Normal cure isn't really doing it for me anymore. Oh god. At a certain level, Cure 1 becomes very situational. Where you can of course still use it. It just becomes a little bit more of a finicky thing to use. Also, this fire over here is going to instantly make a bomb explode. Usually the DPS tend to do this job, either the DPS or the tank. Usually just carry the bombs towards the Gogma Golem. I feel like the tank is a good idea, because the DPS are usually just gonna get themselves blown up. Like that DPS over here was already gotten themselves blown up so much. Anyway, when the Gogma Golem goes down, Big E is all that is left. He's going to attack the improved blasting device, destroying it, and making a big bomb appear. The big bomb will explode, you can just avoid the AoE, it's not that huge. Or you can just kill him before he gets a chance. Which is what happened now. Right. Oh boy. Oh, thank you for stunning that boy. That actually helps out a lot. I'm just gonna stun these boys over here for a little bit. This way I can go and heal you. Over here, then do one of these, and then start casting Holy. That should stun all of them, so any AoE that I'm standing in should be fine now. Let's go and heal him a little bit. Nicer! There's one more left, just ignore him. Well, kinda. There we go. And now we have the boss. It's another giant. Who would think it? Ba, 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 ba. Nice. Say hello to Aronos. You kill my son, I kill you. So this is basically the father of the other giant that we killed earlier in the game, when we went through Copper Bell Mines. Cute Wriggly Wigglies crush puny ones. So this is a mechanic that normally should be done by DPS. I hope, nope, nobody's doing it. Alright, anyway, I'm gonna be doing it then. So, you need to feed this worm. If you do not feed this worm, the worm is going to, at some point, use a Raid Wight, which is going to do a hell of a lot of damage, and it's not gonna be pretty. That's all I can say, really. And the way that you can avoid that is by just periodically dropping crystals in the sand pit in the middle of here. Once again, normally a DPS job, I would say. But, well, yeah, DPS aren't really doing doing that right now. So, yeah. Let me go and drop another one in. It's like a set interval of time, I think. Yoink. Aside from that, he uses an AoE around him. He summons ads, which will focus only on on a single target. He also has the other attack that I do not know. I think Mercury Strike, it's called. And if he hits you with that, you're gonna have a heavy debuff on you, which you may have already noticed on some people, including me. I know it's Power Attack. That's the one. Power Attack is the name of that attack. And that is just about everything that this boss does, I would say. And there we go, we win. Man, I made a mistake. I made a mistake with washing these cushions. Well, a mistake. I chose a bad time to do it. Let me just say it like that. Let's go and actually give somebody a player commendation, because I haven't been able to do that at all. Right. Alright, my friends, that, however, is going to conclude this episode of just how I was playing Final Fantasy XIV. And next episode, we're going to go and finish off these two dungeons and some other stuff that I have yet to decide. Goodbye.